Our viewers are watching you right after the New Hampshire election results.
Right.
And you're looking good. You won hands down. When you wake up on the day after, do you ever think about what it will be like to walk into the Oval Office as the president? Do you think in those terms?
I don't think too much about that. You know, I have to get the job done. I'm somebody that likes to get the job done before I start thinking about it. And, you know, I have a long way to go. I have. We started off with 17. I guess Carly left, and Chris Christie left yesterday, as I understand it. And so
Yep.
that's 2 less. And we're getting down to a very manageable number. I think Rubio's been hurt very badly. That was a very bad. That was a bad hit. And, you know, we're going to see what happens. Bush is a stiff. I don't see how he can win. The last thing we need is another Bush. This guy's a total stiff.
How about Mike Bloomberg?
I hope he runs.
He kind of took a shot at you the other day. He said he should get into the race because the public deserves better. I think there was a kind of shot against you.
Yeah, well, he did say that, and he was a friend. He was a friend of mine. As far as I'm concerned, he's not a friend of mine anymore because he did say something to that effect. And all he is seeing is because I thought that was a nasty shot. I assume it was taken at me. So
would
you
you
know, I like to
welcome
have
him
my
in the
friends,
race?
but when my friends say things like that, assuming it was meant at me, I no longer consider them friends. I knew Michael very well, and he was a friend of mine.
Would you like him in the race?
I would love him in the race. I would love to compete against Michael.
Because you think he'd take votes away from the Democrats?
Well, I think I'd beat him, and I think he would hurt the Democrats. Yeah, I think he would actually hurt the Democrats.
Can I have
we'll see what happens.
Can I get your fast reaction to a couple of developments here?
Go ahead.
Pope Francis is going to stand at the border with Mexico, standing with the migrants. What do you make of that?
So I think that the Pope is a very political person. I think he doesn't understand the problems our country has. I don't think he understands the danger of the open border that we have with Mexico. And I think Mexico got him to do it because Mexico wants to keep the border just the way it is because they're making a fortune and we're losing.
What do you make of, you said that you approve of Vladimir Putin of Russia going ahead and bombing in Syria and in Iraq. Well, he's done that, and now you've got a new huge wave of migrants making their way to Turkey and then maybe to Europe. By backing what Putin's doing, you have actually supported a big jump in the number of migrants leaving North Africa. What do you say to that?
Well, I'm not backing anything that Putin's doing. Putin was very, very complimentary of me, and people were asking me, what I want Putin to do is bomb ISIS. I mean, the one thing I want Putin to do is bomb ISIS. Everything else is secondary.
You said
and he is bombing ISIS. I'd like to see him bomb ISIS more than he's bombing them. But we could, you know, have some help in knocking out ISIS, because we do have to knock out ISIS.
You said that Kim Jong-un of North Korea, you'd make him disappear. You want to elaborate on that?
Well, China should make him disappear, because China has total control, even though they don't admit that. They do. They're just toying with us, as they always do. China has total control over North Korea. They wouldn't be eating if it wasn't for China. And China has a lot of power over him, and China should make it disappear. That should be a China problem, not a U.S. problem. You know, we're like the policemen of the world. With that being said, something has to be done, because you can't give that maniac missiles.
Last one. Janet Yellen, chair of the Federal Reserve, is going to be testifying again today on Capitol Hill. Do you think that any part of this financial turmoil worldwide is her fault?
Well, sometimes it's confidence. Perhaps people don't have confidence in her. I mean, you don't know what it is exactly, but it is turmoil. I'm very proud to say I never bought stocks, but a number of years ago I bought a tremendous amount of stocks, and I sold them a year ago. And I'm very proud. At first I said, oh, I made a mistake. I sold my stocks and the market looked up. Now I can tell you I'm way, way ahead. So I'm very proud of that. I'm a non-stock buyer. In other words, I listen to your program, but not for stock advice. But I bought because money was so readily available. It almost was, you know, every company should make a fortune. And I was right. And then I sold. I held them for a couple of years, and I sold them and did really well with them. And again, it's not my thing. But I saw this coming, and I've been talking about a bubble. I think you sort of alluded to it, but I've been talking about a bubble. We are right now in a big, fat, ugly bubble, and we're controlled largely by Asia and by countries like China, in particular China, because of its vast size. And we're controlled largely, our destiny is largely tied into what is happening in China, because we're so wired into China. And they manipulate their currency, and we don't. And that gives them a big advantage.
Donald Trump, it was a pleasure. Thank you very much for being with us today on Varney & Company. We do appreciate it, sir. We'll see you again
thank you
soon.
very much, and thank you for being so nice. Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you, sir.
Take care of yourself.